All right. Round five, looking forward to a good week of practice. Really just talking about controlling the controllables and, just getting our focus and our process where we need to. Obviously going up against a good football team in the Browns, very well coached. I have a lot of respect for Coach Stefnaski. Does a really good job. They got some game records on defense, obviously the best running game in the NFL. So it'll be a big challenge. It'll be a big challenge for us going on the road. Our preparation is key. So for us to, go up there and play a good football game, it's really what we do this week in practice, how we prepare in meetings and on the field. Just as far as status of injuries and stuff like that, just for today, still evaluating things. I'm not really ready to make any reports or updates on any of our guys. Just, for today, just refer to the injury report later on today. But other than that, we're focused on a good week of practice.
All right, Zach Kiefer.
Hey, Frank. With the news this week that the virus is hit a couple teams, not just the Titans, you obviously take this very seriously every week, but do you reinforce something with your guys this week? Have you talked to them about it and just how much this can change things quickly?
Yeah. So, we got good thing is we got mature guys. So, at our team meeting yesterday, Chris spoke to the team, gave them a good update from, league meetings that both he and I were on. I said a few words yesterday. I let Chris say most of the words yesterday. Today, I just kind of gave a reminder. I have a meeting with the leadership council every week, our player leadership council every Wednesday morning. We talked about it again this morning, mentioned it briefly at the team meeting today. So our guys are pretty locked in. They're responsible. They know this is serious stuff. And, we want to do everything we can do to stay healthy and strong and keep everybody else healthy and strong and continue to play football. So we're going to do our part.
Bob Kravitz.
Yeah, Frank, you've talked about the importance of winning the hidden yardage battle. In what ways has Rigo become a real weapon for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's just, that's what he is. You're right. He's a weapon. His placement on punts is just phenomenal. The difference between, down on the ball, right? You talk about hidden yards. We down a ball at the 2-yard line as opposed to it being a touchback. It's 18 yards of hidden yardage, really, when you think about it. And he just does that consistently. And then his kickoffs have been great, placement, hang time, really in every way. This guy is a winning player, consistent. He's a consistent playmaker and just getting better all the time.
Evan Bowen.
Frank, you often hear the phrase players, not plays, when you get inside the red zone. Are you a coach that follows that sort of philosophy? And how does that influence your play calling when you get into the red zone?
Yeah, no, I like to try to be, I do think players, not plays, but, there's also a saying, man of wisdom avoids all extreme. It's not like scheme and plays don't matter. We need to put our guys in good position. So it's more of, as you guys know, I like to say both and. We do think players, but we do think scheme. So, we need to continue to do a better job in the red zone. Thankful that, Rod's been good and he's been money in there. We'll continue to do a better job there and call it accordingly and continue to get more efficient in every way down there.
Mike Chappell.
Frank, you've kind of explained a lot, even last year, how during games and even going into games, how you think that game might go. Maybe you thought last week would be 19-11, so it maybe it impacted you somewhat in play calling. Playing a team like Cleveland that's just lighting it up, do you kind of go in with the idea that we're going to have to be more aggressive? 19-11 is probably not going to be what the game is.
Yeah, I probably think like that. I probably think, you have a feel going in every week, but obviously it doesn't always go exactly how you feel. So you got to be ready to adjust. If all of a sudden, we get into it and if we had gone into last week and, we went down and scored on the first drive, and if they had come back and scored on the first drive, then you get a different feel. So you're exactly right, Chap. We're playing it and calling it to win the game. The only stat that really matters is the 1-0. Yeah, I like looking at numbers. They mean something to me. You take pride in this and that, but at the end of the day, as a player and as a play caller, you're really just trying to win the day. And so you have to adjust and adapt accordingly.
Ken Sterling.
Hey, Coach. Looking at the Browns, it seems like they're very physical, a very tough team. Is that kind of overblown, or is that just the norm in the NFL? And you've always got to be prepared to play against a tough team.
No, I do agree with that. Every week there's really talented players now. They got Myles Garrett. I mean, this guy's one of the best players in the league. There's no question about that. He's a very talented player. Does a good job in the run and the pass game. So we got a lot of respect for this team. On offense, they got playmakers all over the field. They've done a good job with their offensive line. Their schemes are good. They got obviously Bill Callahan, who does a great job in the run game. So they play physical up front on offense. And, Coach Stefanowski does a great job in the pass and run game. I just have a lot of respect for him and his play calling and his scheme ability. And then on defense, they take the ball away. They take the ball away. They lead the league in takeaways. So that's going to be a big factor in this game. We got to take care of business, and that means protecting the football.
Andrew Walker.
Hey, Coach. I know this can drastically change from week to week, but I think Mo Alley Cox had the one early touchdown catch, and then I think just one target after that. Was that just the way the game flowed? Were there looks for him that just didn't get his way? Maybe Trey being back, did that have anything to do with it? Don't want to read too much into it, but just interested in how that played out.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Andrew. Really, Nick and I had talked about all week. I really envisioned part of the storyline last week of us winning that game was going to be the production of our tight ends. And, the three of them, all three of them. I mean, we had big plans to get all three involved and have significant plays in that game, third down, red zone, a few chunk plays here and there. We had a play action to Trey early in the game. It just didn't come up the way we had envisioned it coming up. So it was a credit to the Bears defense. Obviously Mo had the big play. We called another one later to Trey, down in the red zone. And the one that Phillip, I think, ended up having to scramble and took kind of the short sack there, almost the intentional sack just to burn clock at the end of the first half, where we had schemed something up that we thought was going to be a touchdown to Trey, and they played it differently than what they had showed on film. So it didn't come quite clean. So, as you said, the flow of the game was just a little different. So that's fine. That's where we adapt. And, at the end of the day, we're going to play to win that game and adjust to the situations as they arise.
Jim Aiello.
Hey, Frank, I got a question about some situational play calling. Since you've been here on second and I think it's 8 or more, you guys are, I think, top 5 in running the ball, in terms of play calls that are running the ball. I was curious, is there something that you like about running on second and 8 and longer that you think, I don't know, gives you an advantage in those situations?
No, I mean, in theory, you would say you should get more middle field open coverages so you're not getting as heavy of a box. But, in this league, you just got to mix it up. And that's really how I think about it. So, yeah, you do. You're exactly right, Jim, that I'm always looking at our self-scout and what my play calling tendencies are. So I don't mind getting in a little bit of hey, for the 4 games, you've called a lot of runs on second and 7 to 10. That doesn't bother me too much. If I feel good about the call, we're going to continue to call it because – we got an elite quarterback, so they always have to fear the pass a little bit. And if we think we got the right run call, I'm going to call it. I'm not, and feel like we got the backs that we can gain big yards on second and long. But that you'll see that over the course of the year kind of come and go. We'll mix it run and pass.
Joel Erickson.
Frank, with some of your linebackers having injury concerns this week, just how valuable is Anthony Walker? Not just this week, but any week.
Yeah, I mean, just leadership, versatility, playmaking. Obviously stepped into Darius's role and played top notch. He did that last year, when we needed him. You don't blink, you lose a player like Darius, no one panics, because we got a walk and we got the versatility and the depth, where guys can step in, Bobby can step in there. So Anthony's just a great player and a great leader. Really, he's heart and soul of this team in my mind.
Okay, we'll do 3 more. Phil B.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you about your O-line. I know you have the utmost faith in those guys. Some numbers good, like pass protection. Others, maybe you expect better, like yards per carry. What's your assessment of the O-line so far?
Pass protection has been unbelievably good. We need to be a little bit more consistent and efficient in the run game. But as you guys know, I know we've talked a little bit about it. The way some of the flow of these games is, you get in 4-minute situations. You get in some of the situations that we've gotten into where we're calling runs at the end of the game. It's not always the case, but a lot of times you might not average as many yards. They know you're running it. They know you're trying to burn the clock, so you're running into a heavy box. So maybe your yards per carry. And we've had games that we've been ahead. So if my goal was yards per carry and yards per game, would I call the game differently? Yes, I would call the game vastly differently, but that's not the goal. The goal is to win the game. And, you could do some more crazy things at the end of the game or even in the middle of the game. But that comes with a cost and a risk. So that's where you assess it as you go and you take those shots. But as far as our run game, I got so much confidence in what we're doing and who we're doing it with. So I think over the course of 16 games, we're going to be happy with where we end up.
Thank you.
Mike Wells.
Hey, Frank, I want to ask you, will Cleveland be your biggest test defensively for your unit? And part B of that is, what make?
Well, I think I got your question. I think they're a very good defensive unit. I thought, we've faced a couple, Bears were a pretty stout defensive unit. But I think overall, as an overall team, Cleveland is a tough test. I mean, they're explosive on offense right now. They're scoring a crazy amount of points every game. On defense, they got a bunch of playmakers. They're turning the ball over.
Hey, Frank. Hey, I apologize. I must have lost you. I'm sorry. I meant your defense. Will this be your toughest challenge for your defense, and what makes their rushing attack so good?
That's good. Thank you for clarifying. This will be our defense's biggest challenge. You got the number one offensive as far as running the ball. The other thing that they're number one at is explosive plays in the running game. So we got the number one defense. So this is what it's all about. So we'll see how it stacks up. We got a lot of confidence in our guys, but what makes them so good is number one, they got good personnel. Number two, they're well coached. They obviously have in Callahan, they have one of the best O-line. He's been one of the best O-line coaches for a very long time. And so they scheme it up pretty well. He's legendary as far as coaching the mid-zone or outside zone play. They have their variations of that they run. So we have to be, you play this team, you have to be ready for that. But they do a lot more than that. They run some good gadgets. They have good gap scheme stuff. So they're not a one-dimensional team at all as far as run and throw. But even within the running game, they have enough versatility in their running game that keeps teams off balance. That's why they're number one in the league. So this will be a good challenge for our D.
All right, and last one, George Bremer.
You sort of alluded to this after the game on Sunday, but is there an overall sense that the offense is close, that it's a play here or there that's keeping things from maybe putting bigger numbers up each week?
Yeah, you're right, George. I'm not – yes, we need to be better, and we can be better, and we will be better. But we're 3-1, so you got to have the maturity to say, hey, okay, we got to be better than this. We got to be better in the red zone. We got to be better on third down. We got to run the ball a little bit better. But, you also have to have the maturity to understand context and situations and see the good things that you're doing, and have confidence in what you're doing and a conviction about what you're doing, which we do. And so in that respect, I'm not worried. In that respect, I know we're going to get better. And when we need to score more points, I trust we'll be able to do that. So, because we got the right people.